Instead of doing a vlog at my kitchen table, I want to show you what's all over the counter. Look at this. And what is that? Gary's been picking his ubes. It's full. Look at this. Last week he had one that he wasn't sure if he wanted to take out. He ended up taking it out, and it was 15 pounds, and it was a teeny thing when he planted it. So yes, he's got them everywhere, and they're growing. So he's going to cook a lot of them, and he's going to cut the tops off of a lot of them and put them back in the ground, because if you put 1 pound in the ground in the wood chip soil and this rich soil around his banana trees and stuff, the 1 pound in less than a year turns into 15 pounds. So he decided not to leave it, or he'll have a 150-pound vegetable to pull out next year, and he doesn't want to do that. Oh, and I went to the thrift store and I picked myself up an umbrella to put by my table. Let's go outside now, and I'll get something together on just the ubes another day. So I'm just doing a morning walkthrough. It's in the morning, I'm having my coffee, and I just grabbed my camera and I wanted to share this with you. And this is nothing. He's got so much more to pull out. This is just a few. Anyways, let's go outside. Well, I decided to come out here like I do pretty much every morning and have a cup of coffee. And I thought I'll grab my camera and talk about the week. So like I said, I just showed you, Gary ended up pulling out the ube that he didn't want to. Ube, whatever. Anyways, he pulled it out, and one was 15 pounds, so he's getting more out. Yeah, I was having coffee. And this is just, everything's the same pretty much from the garden tour. The tour I did the other day. Things are going really good. Look at my lemon verbena. They've gotten so big. It was really straggly before, and now it's just doing really good. That one was not, something ate it. I didn't know rabbits would eat it. So I put a wire basket. That's one of the trash cans that you can get at some of these dollar stores. Wire basket. So hopefully it'll make a comeback. It will. And everything else is doing really good. These are purslane that he actually bought at the grocery store. And I just took some pieces and just stuck them in this pot. And boy, are they doing good. Another thing I haven't talked about, I wanted to talk about. Let me talk about this for a second. Think of your future. If you're building a little garden in, let's say, a container, whether it's this big or one of the smaller ones, think ahead, because you can start with anything. Let's say you want to plant some, I wouldn't say dinosaur kale, tomato or squash. Plant one and then go ahead and plant something else, especially squash. Because when you plant zucchini and it gets really big fast and it fruits and everything, they normally will not go through winter or fall. But what will happen is the little tomato plants, if you plant some seedlings, they'll come back later. So when the zucchini is done, the tomato plant, I have found, will have a really good rootstock to it, and then it will take off, and then you'll end up with tomatoes immediately after the zucchini is done. And let's see, what else have I been doing? Oh, I've been picking up some flowers. I don't have a lot of flowers in my garden, just the fruiting vegetables, so I decided to get some flowers. And this is a good place to put flowers because I'm feeding the birds. Oh, and the scrub jays were here this morning. It was so nice to sit and watch the scrub jays as I was sitting here. I really like them. They're one of our prettiest birds here in Southern California. But with this, the flowers, I don't have to think about, did the birds poop on it or whatever. So I'm going to put the flowers right now mainly around where I have my feeding station. This is the only feeding station for the birds. I don't have to think about it. It'll look pretty, and the bees can come, because we were all excited the other day. We saw a real bumblebee, not a carpenter bee, a bumblebee. Well, I'm going to plant some flowers in there. These are freeway flowers, freeway daisies I think they call them. And they're drought tolerant, so once they take off and get established, they should be pretty good. And I heard they sell seed. And let's see, this week we went with the kids, we volunteer at the school, went to the Newport Beach Environmental Center. And I was the only one that saw the raccoons. I was sitting there with the kids, and a whole family of raccoons came up. And I thought it was like part of the, I don't know, I kind of went in shock. It was like part of the show. They came up and they were standing there. And then I realized, no, nobody knew they were there. And I grabbed my camera and I got a quick video of them. And I told the girl that was doing the talk, I said, you know, you've got raccoons behind you. And they said, what? We haven't seen them. We heard that they were here. How did they not know they were there? So anyways, I got a quick little video of the raccoons. That was fun. Even Gary didn't see him, and he was sitting right next to me. I think because I like looking around for wildlife. My eyes are always looking for animals and birds and different things. Here's my tomato jungle, literally. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's getting really, really tall. The other thing I do as I walk through the garden in the morning is I'll collect yellow leaves. Oh, and collared leaves are great. They make the best compost tea too, but any leaf will. And what I do with a lot of these, see here's some here, is I move the soil and just press them in. Look at that. Just press them in and cover it up. And that is going to feed this plant. And when I go back sometimes and I start to press in more and I forget that there's a whole bunch in there already, I'll be moving it over and it'll be full of earthworms because the earthworms will gravitate towards the breaking down leaves. And then they'll go ahead and start eating on that, feeding on it, and then they're feeding my plants. These are doing really good. I wish I would have picked up some more of these plants. These are the midnight snack tomatoes. I planted those and they're doing really, really good. I even took a piece and just stuck it here and it's already rooted, so maybe that one will take off. But that's it for that. Let's see, what else went on this week? Quiet week, I guess. Oh, look at the zucchini. This is what I'm saying, like in here, you can put a couple little tomato plants, which I do believe I've got them in here. Let's see if we can see. See that little tomato plant here? That's a tomato plant. Now, once the zucchini is done, the tomato plants will stay kind of dormant and small, I have found. They'll take off. So once the zucchini plant is out, the tomato plants will take over. And that's what's really, really nice. I thought I saw flowers starting on this the other day. Yep, there's the flowers. They're just starting, see? And this is those black tubs that I just did the video on. That's the one I set up. And I'm just starting the other two. I haven't even really done much with them. So I'm just getting ready to start planting in the rest of them and get those going. Still have to trim my eggplant. Picked up some more solar-powered panels and fountains, so I want to get more of those set up. And somebody said that they ran and got a punch bowl, and that's great. I did that yesterday too at the thrift store for $2.50. I got a punch bowl. Oh. And then I decided I was going to put a bank in the center of an elephant and have the water dribbling down his back. So I picked up this bank for $4, and then I turn it over. It's Tiffany, made in Italy. I looked it up, and they sell for $100, so I guess I won't be putting that in the center of my water fountain. Probably throw it up online, and whatever I get for it, I get for it. Let's see. These are doing really good. Look at that. Because they're just feeding off that compost. What else is going? This little tower is doing really good. The tomatoes, we've been harvesting tomatoes off of this already. We had them for dinner last night. I'm going to do more towers. I really like towers, and I'll be putting something on the top here soon. I've been composting in the center. So when you water this thing, I take the lid off and water it, it feeds the entire tower. But I'm going to plant something in that soon. This is last year's tomato plant that is just taking off now. Been staking it up with my masking tape. You know, using all the masking tape, I will say that the frog tape, the green tape, really stays on the best. It doesn't come loose at all, and it looks nice. So will I invest in just frog tape? Probably not. But it is a really good tape, especially if you go tape on tape. And I've shown that in my videos how I do that. That's really, really good. And the tomatillos have self-seeded, and they're coming up there. Still have to plant more there. There's a zucchini coming up. Oh, I've got zucchini coming up everywhere. Got to do a video on that. And then here's another bin that I've been composting in, and I'm getting ready to make a tower. Let's see what's underneath. Look at that. all these earthworms. Can you see them? It's full. Look at that. It's just full of earthworms. I didn't put them in there. They found their way in there. And oh, Gary's picking a papaya. Let's go check on him. Well, here's Gary, and he's going to harvest today, this morning, another papaya. I don't know if I can get in here. Look at that. And then you've got one next to it that will be ready, what, in a few days?
In a few days. This one's, I could harvest it now, but I'm going to wait till maybe midweek to harvest this one. It's ripening up pretty quick. And this one's ready to go.
Wow, it's like one papaya after another. As soon as we finish it, there's another one. It's really cool. Okay, I'm going to back out of this tree. Isn't that cool? Something that came up in the compost and got put here. Yeah, this is our leaning papaya. Look at that. So the strap you put on is really holding good too.
Yep. It's nice and supported now, so it's not going anywhere.
2 metal poles holding it in the ground from falling over. And then notice we're composting the leaves and the stems in these bins, and we hit that with water, and we could even cover some wood chips on top, and then it will drain out and feed both these papaya trees. That's the best food for a papaya tree, is their own leaves. Wow. Well, that's really cool. Okay, I'll go back and finish up a few things and wrap this up. Now you can go eat papaya. Save me a piece.
Yeah, I'll trim it down and put it in the fridge.
And as the dogs stand there watching, because boy, do they love their papaya.
Yeah, they really do. So, yeah, I like using my hacksaw blade. It's very easy to get to the stem.
Well, now we're done with Gary's papaya, and we can just show you this wall here. This is this thing that Gary built out of wood that he had laying around here, scrap wood. And I do both. I compost in place in these tubs. This is just a seed that came up, and it's trying, but I'll probably put a new squash in there, because I haven't planted anything in here. This is all stuff left from the winter. This is a moringa tree that I planted by seed in here. Got celery growing, Swiss chard. This has all come up and has been growing all winter. So I'm going to get things growing in this bed too. This is up against the wall. This wall stays warm in the winter. So we had tomatoes all winter growing up against this wall. So if you've got a wall, you can develop your own microclimates, and that's what we've done. Look how big this red Swiss chard is. The trunk on it is massive. But yes, a wall like this, the cinder blocks, they stay really warm in the winter. So when you come out here in the evening and it's cool and you touch the wall, it gives off a light amount of heat, and the plants love it. And you can just create your own microclimate. You can create microclimates throughout your whole garden, have all kinds of things. The other thing I always wanted to talk about, and I haven't done yet, should do a whole video on, is tags. You buy plants and you read the tags. If you go by the tags a lot of times, you will kill the plant. We went and bought a finger lime, which is native to Australia. It's a little citrus tree, a dwarf citrus tree that grows limes. And the tag said full sun, and it's got to be in full sun. You can't put it in any shade. So we did exactly what the tag said, and we killed it. So it was from Home Depot, so they took it back. We did bring it back, and they gave us back our money. But here's the thing, the tag was wrong. Now, maybe in a different climate, but not ours. And we bought it here in Southern California. The tag was totally wrong. I'm going to swing around and walk as I talk. They should not have said full sun. We saw a video on just that, on the finger lime trees. And in Australia, they're native there. They grow under citrus trees and under other trees. So as they explained in Australia, the lime trees, and we planted here on the hillside, and we were watering it really good, they like being underneath trees. So a finger lime normally is not supposed to be in the sunlight. It's supposed to be under shade. So had we known that, we probably would have been done okay with it. The other thing is like my stevia. You really have to analyze what you're buying and what it says and try different things. Stevia says full sun. I cannot grow stevia here in full sun. I've tried it. It just struggles and struggles, and eventually it dies out. But taking my stevia, which I have in the front now, and putting it in the shade, just morning sun, it grows beautiful. It spreads and gets bigger and bigger. It goes to seed. I have not tried to grow it from seed. It just grows really good in the shade. So if you've got something that isn't doing well, try different situations. You can't always go by what the tag says. Let me show you the stevia real quick in case you have not seen the video. Oh, real quick, here, this is tomatillo, and it's self-seeded because I left them sitting up here, see? The tomatillo just rotted into the ground, and it's self-seeded. Isn't that wonderful? I just love it. So much of this stuff here self-seeds. See my stevia? It doesn't get any sun here. It was one little pot I bought, and I separated it, and it has taken off. This is over a year old now. And I even got some over here. That's coming back. It was underneath this plant, and Gary cut the plant away, and he didn't know that there was stevia there. It was another one I had stuck in the ground. So the tag says full sun. I cannot grow stevia in full sun. It does beautiful here. Just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So if you want a plant and it didn't work out, just try a different area. Don't go by what the tag says, because it doesn't always work. So I think that's my morning walkthrough. You know, when you buy plants, I've been working in the garden a little bit, and you've got these small pots, don't throw them away. These are really, really good to throw some soil in and put some seeds in there if you want, or parsley, and then take this pot and put it in another pot. This way the parsley, the roots can leave, and it will grow really happy, and when you water it, you know it's getting the water because you're going to water there. See, I do pot and pot. Okay, that's a sad little celery. That's a bad example. But I do a lot of pots and pots, and this way I know when I'm watering, let's say I want to water this mint, I know when I water in there, this mint is getting the water, and then of course it will go out. But the mint has already left that pot, the roots. So with that, I think I'm going to go back to work in my garden today. This is a nice day to work in the garden. It was a nice quiet week. It was fun going out with the kids. We do that when they need us, and we're more than happy to do it and volunteer for the school. So back to work I go. And maybe get some flowers for your garden, because you'll bring in more bees and beneficial insects, and you want those beneficial insects. So have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.